So yeah, Octopode standard Octopode standard summoner is focus summonings, unfocused spellcastings for me. Pretty much, you could train some stealth if you wanted to with an aptitude like +4, but the stealth that you're going to get from that aptitude is kind of enough. You basically want MP to cast summons, and you want skill levels just to get the summons castable. Ice Beast, Imp, and Canine Familiar are going to be pretty usable right away, but Ice Beast and Lightning Spire are going to take a little bit of skill. And I usually do 3 Ice to help Ice Beast along because that one is so universally good. And I usually don't train any air for Spire, just use the summonings. But you totally can if you want to. Alright. Nice to pick up a weapon. Summoners do well if they go and they hit things side by side with summons. You have to be very choosy about what you hit. And usually with Summoner, it's best to have all your summons sort of out when you see any group of monsters. So that fight went rather poorly. Wow. Okay, good. Even Quokka died. Start out with very little MP, so that's 3 summons, and the role of summons is that they are pretty non-linear in their damage, so if you get 3 summons up, it's a lot stronger than 1 summon made 3 times in a row, fighting 3 times in a row. And it's a really good idea to rest MP to full after each fight, so that you can deploy all 3 at once. And as soon as you get to level 2, memorize Summon Imp. So we just got 5 MP, that's a big upgrade. Now we can make an Imp and 3 Spammels. Quokkas are really good summons. They're fast, just something people forget. They have and they have stronger attack. Bats are surprisingly useful for making distracting monsters. Rats are sort of the weakest, basically, because they're not fast. They hit harder than the bats do, but bats are really good at avoiding taking damage. Monsters have a hard time hitting them, so rats tend to not last very long. And I usually pick up some stones in the early game because it's really handy to throw at monsters, because it directs your summons to attack without you making any noise through the T commands. And the T commands, TA and TR and TG, recently renamed from wait, are all useful. I particularly use the TA commands and TF. I don't really use guard too much. Different people favor different things with using summons, but usually when I'm using the T commands, it's because I want my summons to move forward to get to multi-hit a monster, and I'll use TF to basically make them retreat towards me without making them formally retreat. The retreat command is not really so useful for summons. Yeah, it's super useful. So if you're at all concerned about noise, hit them with a rock. I mean, you don't have to do stones. You can also use a wand or anything like that. Any attack that will land. And also that applies to the use of polearms. So if you just poke a monster from 1 tile away, that also directs your summons. So they're all good. But yeah, stones are good for anything at range. And polearms are really nice for like 0 skill melee, because you can do really weak damage behind your summons with the reach attack. It has a lower chance of success, but it's still free damage essentially. if you're not doing anything else. Early jackals before you get your summons up can be kind of scary, and adders are something you really have to be careful about if you're at XL1. Once you get to XL2, you can probably take down an adder okay with imps, but even then you have to be careful, because if you're just at XL2, you maybe get 1, maybe 2 imps. It's often good to mix. That's another thing that people with summon spells forget to do, is mixing their summons. Because each spell has a summon cap, like Spammels it's 4, or, god, now I'm misremembering. Yeah, it is 4. And so that's 4 different summons you can have, but then if you add an imp, that's another 3. So you can have up to, with the spells I have right now, I can have up to 7. That's a lot of summons if I could cast them, which I can't. In truth, I could make 1 imp and something like, 3 Spammels would be the most I can do, just given my MP. But as that MP increases a bit, that will change. I am training spell casting and I'm gaining levels quickly, so. And using your summons as sort of meatshields, falling back to avoid taking a lot of direct damage. Most people get that pretty quickly. The thing that people don't get about using summons, and I'm going to take int just for spell power. It's fine if you take, it depends on what kind of character. If you want to build a pure summoner, which this guy is pretty much going to be, because I don't really want to do melee, I'm going to take advantage of Sif to spam summons a lot. So for me, int is just fine. It helps me cast my non-summon spells easier. It gives me spell power for summons. You don't need as much spell power for summons. Like, you can do just fine with, high teens or in the 20s int-wise. Even casting sort of some of the higher spells, if you build a character that's got like good melee and defenses. If you're not doing that, then it's kind of maybe nice to focus on the killing power of summons, and spell power gives you like better XXX, better summons for Menagerie. On the other hand, it's nice having EV, so Dex is kind of attractive there. This guy's not going to be wearing armor, so he's definitely not going to level strength. And octopodes have a small size, so I think they get EV really easily. If I can get like 30, I'm okay with that. Honestly, since I can wear so many rings, I'll probably have like a Dex boost, so I probably can just go ahead and level in to not worry about Dex too much. On the other hand, if you did level Dex, you'd probably get, if you started training defenses pretty early, which I will do, I'll start into dodging maybe right before I go into lair or early into lair. Okay, so Canine Familiar, that's the next spell. After Canine Familiar, I'm going to learn Ice Beast. I'm not going to be able to cast it, but I'm going to turn on Ice Magic and get that to 3. So yeah, with fighting an adder and using Crimson Imps, you have to be willing to move around to get your imps in between the adder, and they blink a lot, so you have to sort of expect that, and it can be nice to mix in some Spammels. Particularly if you can get some quokkas. Like, sometimes as few as 2 quokkas can kill an entire adder, but if you just get like 1 quokka and a couple other Spammels and then something like a Crimson Imp that's pretty sturdy and that does decent enough damage, you can take out adders pretty well. Just you have to watch, because adders are fast and they will dodge through your summons very easily if there's a gap, so you kind of have to be aware of where they could, the ways that they could get to you, and that's going to pretty much apply to other fast enemies like black mambas, spiny frogs later on too. So on a casual run, I was talking about the stone thing. That is something that shows up more on speed runs overall compared to casual because you're just a lot safer. You're not going to see me using that a lot. Yep, a ring. Might wait a little bit until we get... Amulets are safe to put on right away, pretty much, because I don't care about... There's like no... Oh, the only amulet I do care about would be an amulet of harm. But I wouldn't be super mad about harm. I'm not really taking much damage. On the other hand, I also don't have a lot of HP. I probably would keep on harm a little bit until I got my... Maybe just for a level or two. We'd have to see. So there was Siggy. As soon as you get K9, you can probably take down Sig without too much difficulty, but you probably want to pre-summon some stuff. I can only make one familiar, so I'm just gonna weaken him a bit. Direct my summons with Wand of Flame. Oh, so the Hound already got confused. That's bad. We'll have to see. Yep, they took him out alright, and I got 2 level ups. So there's some risk in fighting Sigmund at XL3. It can go badly. He can get a confuse on you, and it's not necessarily ideal to fight him that early, but kind of helps if you know that you're not going to be fighting a bunch of other monsters. Which I didn't really know, but it felt like there were none other there. And a thing to remember about Canine Familiar is the hounds, all of the hounds that you make see invis, so they're really important for killing orc wizards. Because once those orc wizards go invis, it's very hard for your summons to kill things. Stronger ones like Crimson Imp or White Imp can sometimes do it. And of course, like if you just get them surrounded, eventually it'll die even if it's invisible. But hounds will take them down a lot quicker. I could pick up his scythe, but the spear is probably a better choice just because the delay is I'm not going to get double hit quite so much. It does do good damage, definitely. Assuming it's not, assuming that it's actually a good brand. I've got enough scrolls now that I can probably go ahead and try on this. Okay, sustain, so that's pretty useless. God, this really sounds like... That beginning sounds so much like the first level music of Wizards and Warriors. It's funny. Oh, a lot of pots. So always watch out for these low HP species whenever you see an orc, because orc priests are probably close by. Okay, I'm actually not going to try that on. Oh, here's Crazy Youth. Can't even use his cloak. What a shame. Okay, so now we can go ahead and... So I usually just focus ice and set a skill target of 3. Once it's at around in the 30s for miscast, you can start to use it in nastier fights. You just have to watch it, because just kind of assume that you're going to get a miscast. So it's good to cast like at full MP when having it would be better than anything else, but not exactly required. And then just sort of give it a shot. It might help you avoid resetting a fight. Here's the thing, I have sling bullets. This is pretty good. Actually, yeah. +3 sling and sling bullets is not bad. This early. Okay. Why did you prompt me that? Oh, that's Robin. You gotta be a little bit careful on Robin early on. This late, I'm probably fine. But yeah, she'll throw stuff at you and it can be a problem. Start to run out of MP, but she's dead. Summons are great for generating distractions, and it's important to remember that if you're running away, just like a single bat can save you if you've got 1 MP or a rat, or you know. So cool to have an ice piece here. It's at 34%. It's a little dangerous because it's still a red miscast. I'm just going to do it anyhow. And yeah, we got one. So that should help. That should be enough to make this fight trivial. And then yeah, followed up by North Priest. So that was a pretty good summon. Oh, but then there's another one. That's not so hot. Yeah, now we got to be careful. The one's dead, but wow, there's a lot of these dudes. So now we are just getting out of dodge, because that is just too many smites to be taking. Go ahead and go up. Well, Venom is cool. Probably only going to get to take those guys down if I get an Ice Beast summon, though. Yep, see, that's a miscast right there. Somewhat dangerous one, too. Yep. Oh, yeah. So now I'm nearly dead. Because that pain does a lot of damage. That was just a simple Shadow Imp, and whacking it with a stick turned out to be a really bad call. This is why casting with red miscasts is... That wasn't even that bad of a summon, but you can get way worse. No, I'm not training any slings. This is all just 0 skill, but +3 and sling bullets does a lot of damage. I'm not even committing to using pole arms right now. I'll probably train up a 12 skill weapon on this guy, maybe. You know, like a demon whip or a demon blade. For pole arms, it's or a demon trident would be fine, but I kind of have to find one. I'm not going to train a weapon skill, probably not through lair. Maybe not even through orc. Might come after that. Okay. Despite what my warnings just then, I went ahead and casted it again. Your odds of rolling something, so this is a good just whack things weapon. Oh. These guys are not good at taking a hint. Yep. Getting myself into trouble yet again. These orcs they're on point. I'm probably gonna use my wand here and see if I can't get rid of this guy. Okay, good. Alright, so there's ice magic. This orc band was for real. It's like 3 orc priests, orc wizards. Even the little guys managed to do quite a number on me just because of the way I set up the fight in the corner like that, which often works, but sometimes doesn't. Mostly it's to limit LOS for orc priests and for things with ranged attacks, but sometimes it backfires. Better to use an out, just like a typical corner, like a 90-degree angle type corner. Well, they're all 90-degree angles, but what I mean is something more like this, where you've got like fallback area and you can group monsters more effectively. Here, it's not so effective because things can hit your summons like from here and elsewhere. Orc wizards are very good at trolling you. Okay, at this point, Ice Beast is usable. It's still going to miscast a lot, but I'm not as worried about miscast effects. They can still be somewhat nasty, though. You can't totally ignore them. Yeah, worker ants are early on. They can be quite a hassle. They can be worse than adders because they have really good EV, they're really sturdy, and of course they apply a lot of poison. And don't be afraid to use things like wands, like I was using a wand of flame there just to finish off orc wizards and any of the hex wands. Yep, Crazy Youth now has a rune door. And I go for pots for ID scrolls because pots are kind of what save your life early on, and they're unsafe to quaff ID. 3 cure mute, that's cool. I can maybe try it for some mutations if I feel like doing that. Okay, yeah, centaurs are definitely something you have to be really careful about as a summoner. That was a really bad spot to have a centaur wake up because I have nowhere to run, and I have to like throw up a summon and hope he doesn't, you know, puncture me. I can go into, I can haste, and so I have a few pots and a Jill pot and stuff, but yeah, I do have a ring, but I'm waiting to get another 2 stack. I don't want to go read IDing single scrolls. Ring is not going to like, I mean, if it's a good run, it's going to make a big difference. If it's a bad one, what's a bad one that's really going to hurt me a lot? Loudness isn't that big of a deal. The big one that would really help would probably be MP first and foremost, and then wizardry. And the odds of that getting one of those is pretty slim, and the negative effects of like a cursed one can be kind of bad. You know, it's not all that much riskier to put them on, but it just depends on what your playstyle is. For amulets, I pretty much always put them on right away. For rings, I usually want to make sure I've got always at least one remove curse. Getting something like a ring of teleport probably won't kill you, but it's just one more complication you got to worry about. And so many of the ring effects are pretty mediocre that, whereas amulets have a kind of stronger set of effects generally. Ooh, a Lek Whip. That is a good weapon. Okay, so, oh, a stave. That's cool. Similar story. The stave is not going to do a lot for me. If it were summon or whiz or power, there's a few that would be useful. But oh, let's see. This is a lot better setup to fight this guy. Just back up and just kind of keep a couple ice beasts. He's going to die very quickly. Ooh, Andean flame arrows. That is not a great combination with Ice Beast. They tend to be worse than Orc Priests. Those guys, they're like, oh, this ogre is on point. They don't usually last that well. But yeah, unlike a conj who can maybe blast, even a conjurer really can struggle with centaurs because it can be hard to pour out enough damage. But summoners are really good at, you know, putting out damage when their summons are next to the target. But if you get a centaur at the edge of LOS, it's not like a conjurer where you can just start doing damage, and if you're confident you can kill it in 3 turns, then you're probably good. In many cases, even with a conjurer, you're not going to be confident that you can do that, so they can still be really dangerous. So as a summoner, you need to use your summons to block and use LOS to get out of range of the centaur. Throwing nets. This guy. So aside from that really bad shadow imp that basically got me down to quaffing a potion at random, so that was pure my own stupidity. It's been pretty smooth. Alright, so go ahead and try on some of these rings. Okay, that's a good one. Ring of Ice. That enhances... Oh, that's cool. So I can wear that because it enhances ice. It enhances my Ice Beast spell power, and spell power for some of the summons is a big deal. It's a big deal for Imp, for all the early summons. Ice Beast, because their HD scale with... Their HD and for all summons the duration scale with spell power, but for many summons the HD of the summons also scales with spell power. And that's the case for Ice Beast. For other spells, it's more about the mix of monsters that you get. For Canine Familiar, I'm not sure how... I need to go back and see how HD is used as like a baseline stat to increase with spell power. I don't think it's universally used. For Canine, getting like stronger canines, like wolves and... wargs, those two are pretty strong, and getting more of those makes spell power helpful. For Menage, it's more about getting like some of the better summons. for triple X, it's the same way. I don't think it improves HD. It just gives you more T-mons. And then some summons, like most notably Shadow Creatures, isn't influenced by spell power at all, which actually makes that spell useful for a lot of characters because they don't need to have much int and they don't need to have all that much summons in order to use it. But that does mean that spell power isn't of any use for that spell. Wow, this is... Huh. Okay, so I set my cutoff to 8. Actually just going to keep that on for now and reset the cutoff to 12. For Sif, if I'm doing a speed run, I'll sort of set a goal of getting to 15 summons by the time I get to, say, it used to be 6-star piety, that's when she would start gifting. Now it's at 5 stars, so... Oh, what do we have here, folks? Oh, I thought it was a demon weapon at first. Might be good, though. Let's see. Uh-oh. R poison, RF, MR. Pretty good stuff. Unfortunately, a really weak weapon. However, it's not so important for me to be poking things anymore. I'm starting to run into monsters more situations where it's not so fun to be next to things and poking them because my defenses aren't increasing. All I've got are HP. I'm not really there yet. I can still hit a bunch, but I'll just keep this on because all these things that this has are good. Our poison is not super relevant right now, but obviously I'm going to be in layer, and RF is relevant right now, and that sort of helps nicely complement the RC I get from the Ring of Ice, and MR is always good. Star Contam is, I'll let the learn DB. So if I unequip this, Hieropants, you have to add it to your RC. There's from that repo, there's instructions for installing some of the Lua components that I have prepared. This one's called target_skill, so you can see the instructions for adding that to your RC. Code was originally by Elliptic, but I took it and kind of refactored parts of it. I'm probably going to try to rewrite it to make it work with multiple skill levels. But yeah, you can't get that unless you modify your RC. Which isn't hard to do, but some people don't like doing that at all. It is really handy though. Helps you avoid skill training mistakes. Doesn't completely avoid them, it's still possible to mess it up. Okay, there's Grinder. Oh, I should have learned Lightning Spire, but I didn't. I'm pretty safe to kill Grinder at this point. What I want though is to get those ice beasts attacking him. I just got to be careful because he can still do a lot of damage. So I'm just going to kind of sit at distance and try to fold in ice beasts. Yeah, what I don't want is a fight like this where I've got, you know, multiple, whole full-on groups of enemies. This guy doing potentially significant damage, although he can't do too much. Grinder is probably almost dead. Yeah. If I could hit him, I would, Okay, I killed both gnolls, and there goes Grinder. Yeah, that's really when something like this can be dangerous. Now there's a water moccasin. Thankfully, ice beasts are really good. Early on, that Grinder is one of those enemies where if you've just got Imp and Hound, even then he's kind of dangerous. Because none of your elemental attacks do anything to him, like the White Imp doesn't do so much because Grinder resists cold. Your Shadow Imp, if you get Shadow Imps, the pain doesn't affect Grinder. He blinks a ton. And he will do a lot of damage and he'll paralyze you. Sigmund is honestly typically a little bit easier with summons, I would say. Hey, I got a wolf. Woof woof. Ooh, a buckler. Very nice. That is worth training some skill for pretty much right away. Not going to put it on quite yet, but I'm going to train it. Oh yeah, and I need to get Inspire. And Golem is a usable spell. A lot of people hate this spell. It is a pretty weak spell. I mean, it's only level 3, so, you know, it doesn't need to do all that much. It becomes kind of nice to use when you do these big group fights where you've got out a lot of summons, and if you're fighting something like a pack of Death Yaks or anything where it's a big group fight and you've kind of maximized your summons, it's good because it will keep those summons alive longer and let them stay at their favorable position taking damage. The problem with it is that it will, of course, blow up after a while, and the way you can prevent it from doing that is recasting the spell, which doesn't cost a lot because it's only 3 MP. Or if it looks like it's actually going to be good for it to blow up, you can just let it blow up. You got to be really careful about that, though. It's a spell you can get yourself killed with. And I typically stop using it. I will use it a bit through layer. It's the spell that gets the least amount of use, but it does have some uses. There was Amgar. The problem is it's not really the best interface to do it. It's done through a Lua prompt, and it's a little bit kludgy. What it really needs is kind of a proper UI treatment in using the crawls UI, you know, normal menuing UI, like right on the skill screen, for instance, or something like that, rather than like Lua prompting. At least I feel that way. Okay, so this is a pretty bad level, or a pretty bad set of stairs. Oh, what do we got here? We got Temple. So we didn't get Sif. We haven't really seen a lot of altars, have we? Yeah, we've only seen 3 altars. That's a pretty bad situation. But whites are dangerous for summoners for sure. They'll have reaching weapons sometimes, but they resist. Like Ice Beast will kill them pretty readily, but they also resist pretty easily. I don't really have to go back up those different stairs because unlike how it used to be, I know where they lead. I could take this white up with me, but he's gonna poke me anyhow, and I'm not gonna get much out of that. So I'll just go take some different stairs and approach that fight from a more favorable setup. Looks like we're not far away. Wow, a lot of orcs. So yeah, a level like this, obviously be prepared to set up a lot of summons and just kind of see what they can get. Avoid making too much noise if at all possible, but this guy might make that difficult to do. I don't have a lot of summons up right now. And a black bear. Okay, good, they got him. That's good. Yeah, this guy's got a nasty weapon. Okay, so that one didn't work. The only problem with this, what I'm doing right now, is of course I'm out of MP, I'm making a lot of noise, so if I go and I'm off the stairs, on the other hand, yeah, this is bad. Really need to get this guy off the stairs, but I kind of stupidly made that an impossibility. So that's unfortunate. And there's just too many of these whites, so I can't really like do anything about it. And of course we get, you know, we get more orcs, because what else would you get? Boy, this is bad. Okay, so we get a teleport, but wow, what a bad situation. Really got myself into a lot of hot water there for really no reason. Should have just gone back up. There was just no reason for that kind of difficulty. It was like marginal enough where like, okay, I can control them, but it didn't really end up working out that way. Now the problem is that, well, I can sort of stair dance it a little bit. Not too much, because I'm just an octopode without any AC, but I can kind of rotate between these two stairs. Yeah, that's kind of bad. Yeah, you're going to get miscasts and stuff like I'm getting, so you can't really just assume that your spells are going to cast properly. Stair dancing like with a character like this is a little bit dicey, but we've done it. So yeah, doing that fight again, I definitely wouldn't have gotten off the stairs like that. Just go up. That early into the level with so few monsters killed, it's just not worth it. Having to rely on man, this entrance was like, this whole area is like, oh, a giant white pack and then 2 packs of orcs. It's just no love. That kind of stuff you really don't have much control over. So you want to like minimize the danger from a situation like that. Alright. So now this is probably just a pretty small level, I'm gonna guess. It doesn't really look small. It looks like it's maybe massive, but all 3 upstairs close to each other. It could just be coincidence. There could be a lot more to the level. Oh good, this one has like every altar. Ooh, we got a hat, folks. Let's try on this ring. Not bad. See what the staff is. Oh, right. Damn, that's a shame. I should have tried the staff on before I put on the axe. Might want to use an ID scroll for that. If it's a staff, something like a staff of power, maybe even a staff of wizardry or staff of summoning, it might be worth switching. Depends a little bit on whether or not I find another source of our poison. Yep, that was a pretty small, well, that was the main central area and it just had a few branches, so that's why all the stairs were grouped, and that's why all the orcs, there were so many enemies in the center. Well, the implementation that's in target skill is all based in Lua Mamkar, so implementing it in Crawl's main UI would mean like a C++ implementation. I think patches would be pretty welcome for it, but it's not to fix the like for the interface issues. What you would want is maybe you'd have to really think how you wanted it. What would probably be cool would be like I don't know if you want to have just one limit or a limit per skill, and it brings up the menu when the limit is hit for a given skill. There's another version of one of the rewrites I wanted to do for this was to make it have a limit for each skill, because that is a little bit handy. There are times when a single limit is not the best thing, and what happens is the limit ends up getting triggered related to skills that you don't care about. Like I'll set the limit to an example would be like if I had like 10 fighting and 10 summons, and for some reason I wanted to turn off summonings at 12, and I set the limit to 12, and maybe a better example is fighting is at like 11.5, and I set the limit to 12 because that's for sure where I want to stop summoning, but then fighting gets to 12 and the limit thing triggers, and I don't really want that to happen, so I really want to set the limit to 12 just for summoning only. And that situation does kind of pop up, so being able to deal with that, and you'd probably want to set the limit through the menu, through the skill menu, so that you could just do something to set it. I guess one way to do that would be like to have a toggle so that you could toggle the current level and then toggle setting the limit. So I would hit a toggle key and then I would hit a skill, and on the when you hit the toggle it would show the current limit, and if there is no limit it would just like say, and it would have like a blank entry, and I could then hit a key and set the limit of a given skill, and then I guess when the limit occurred what it would do would be to pop up the skill training menu to set a skill to enable, and I suppose what it would also do would be to unset the limit for that skill automatically. That's a sketch of probably how it would work, and that could not be done through Lua. That would have to be done in the main, it would have to be done in C++ using the menu code. It's not that hard of a patch to make, I think. Assuming that the way I've suggested it be implemented is actually a good idea. Maybe I'll float it in crawl dev and see what people think. There might be some weird gotchas with something like that. Okay, there's a centaur. So for this kind of fight, I'm just gonna find a good. Alright, this is a food vault. I recognize that. Okay, orc warriors. What I don't want to do is make a bunch of noise and get flanked. So all of my current locations kind of are a little bit like that though. This is not the best fight location to fight. Just gonna make an ice beast so I got something strong. I'm gonna shout. Looks like I woke up. Okay, so there's the centaur. I'm gonna go ahead and make a spire. I just have to be really careful because it's, yeah, well, he took that out. And yeah, he's getting some damage on me. He's getting a lot of damage, oh, just like that. So I didn't do anything particularly weird, but he just did a ton of damage over a very small number of turns. So now I need to set up a spire in front, and I had to spam some heal. Wow, that centaur was really... Oh boy, see that's a terrible spawn to have like that. When you have low HP, somebody else spawning. So this was an interesting setup because I've got all this stuff here that I don't want to fight at the same time fighting this, and one centaur managed to completely destroy my HP. It can be really variable how much damage those things do. And Joseph can do a ton of damage. if you are going to do something a little bit speculative like that, it's a really good idea to get some blocking summons up so that they're ready to go. And I'm going to actually just get on the stairs. We're going to have to see how this goes. He's going to kill the hound for sure. My spire was not the best location. I should have set it up right there, but that's all right. We're just going to kind of keep feeding in summons and see how it goes. And yeah, he's not taking too much damage. I might try some wands. We'll have to see. Probably not going to get to kill him, to be honest. Ice Beast, okay, so yeah, Ice Beast can often take down, and Ice Splash should finish him off. Then there's our friend the Ogre. This guy may be too much for an Ice Beast, we'll have to see. Nope, he goes down. Two-headed Ogres aren't that much worse than a one-headed Ogre. They definitely do more damage, but I don't think they have much more HP, and I'm going to rest up. So that should be most of the bad stuff from this direction. There's a Wyvern. Those hit really hard. You don't want to take damage from those. They're just because they're fast. Now I can probably take down this Orc Warrior without having to worry about a Centaur or something weird coming from behind. This is a pretty good setup just to go ahead and set up a Spire who will probably wreck everything really quickly. There's another one. Looks like they all woke up too. So we'll just assume that everybody's going to be in tow. Yeah, there they go. I miscast, so that's unfortunate. But Spire is a lot of damage. Until I can get 1 star, I'm not really going to have, you know, the MP that I have is the MP that I have. Once I get Sif Divine Energy up, I'll be able to extend fights pretty well. But I can't really control that until that happens. There's Pickle. This late, he's not really anything to worry too much about. Yep, he died awful fast. Look at this armor shop, guys. Beautiful. Damn, that Swamp Dragon armor. Beautiful Octopode armor shop. Love it. Oh, now we got 1 star. That's cool. So I'm going to turn on Divine Energy. Pretty much don't ever turn that off because I'm not super concerned about misusing it. Okay. Yaks are great XP. They're not too hard to fight. This setup isn't exactly perfect. Oh wow, especially not when that happens. Yeah, what I needed is for everybody to... So now I've created a bad situation because this one guy here, right, so he could kill me very easily. Do I have any cure? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That was very... That was a good example of like how not to do summons, because just one yak got through, and I wasn't intending for it to get through, but it just slipped through because all my summons were distracted. It just wasn't the best setup. It was a weird kind of location where you can group monsters, but all my summons were on the kind of on the wrong side, and so one gets through. Like if they had been blocking everything here, it would have been a lot better. So then I just went and used my last cure pot. I could have died just going up those stairs. Again, I don't play super carefully in the early game. Particularly on stream, because that just gives me a chance to restart and pick another character. And most characters are... I just don't like to kill them until they're... Or rather, I don't like to kill them when they get to a high level. I don't so much care before then. Damn, I really need to update that. Okay, so shields are up to 4. I can now put on the buckler. Turn off shields. I like the big band remix of Mario 2, that's cute. That's pretty cool. Wow. Nice ring. Yeah, I'm gonna buy the heal wounds. The way I've been playing. That's a pretty cool ring. Invis is a really strong effect. Don't need to pile on too many of those resistances, although MR never hurts. RN doesn't hurt. Yeah, we'll probably end up... Good chance we'll buy that. Uh-oh. So we've got an unseen horror. That's not great. Those do a lot of damage. Just got a warg. Damn. This warg can probably kill it. If I can just... kind of trap it in there. There we go. Worked because I had enough heal wounds to make that work. Oh, here's our friend the axe. This is a lot better setup to fight these guys. Though I gotta be careful because they're already breaking through since Don't really have a lot of MP at the moment. Nice. Got a lab. So it can be sometimes a little bit scary with the summoner because a Minotaur will destroy me really fast. But if you set up the fight correctly, it's usually pretty good. It's possible to screw it up for sure. Black Mambas you really want to be careful about. How much RC do I have? I do have some. We'll take it. You also want to be a little bit careful about wolves. They can, that's why it's Grum. Set up a spire and see what that can do. Okay, good. That'll pretty much take care of that. So the problem is I can't rest, or at least I don't want to rest quite so much, but I have to be very cautious about running into something nasty. Which I've already run into two kind of nasty things. Okay, so distant means it's somewhat close. These guys just kind of slow you down, which is annoying. Alright, so I guess we did not move closer to it. This is probably not helping. My guess is it's somewhere over here. Damn it. Running into a lot of MP intensive monsters, which is not what I need right now. Okay, so we are going to keep up training summoning. I'm going to turn on dodging though. And not really going to, for here, for this guy, the limits aren't too big of a deal. Okay, I really need to get to this lab. God damn, just no breaks. Just cannot seem to get a break with this. Okay. Once again. There we go. Alright, so we made it. I'm gonna drop some of this other stuff I can eat once I'm in the lab. Cool. We made it inside. That was a difficult lab to get into. Ooh. Earth elementals can do some damage. No, not really. We don't, wow. These things are invincible. Don't really want to fight, any more of those guys. Ooh, but we got a wand out of it. Oh, nice. Telewand. Yeah, there was a sound support in SDL, but of course we don't have, you know, we don't have sound effects. We don't have... Ooh, wow. It's possible for the community to create those, certainly, but is this just another vault, or is this the... I'm gonna assume it's possibly the Minotaur vault. You want to be really careful with a character like this walking around. I think this is the Abyss portal, yeah. Okay, this might just be a vault then. Not a bad idea to keep a summon up and be careful about walking in diagonals. What I mean is like moving here like this and exposing, possibly moving next to a Minotaur. Like that. Okay, so this fight, it's a little bit awkward fighting him right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to haste, move like this, set up one there, and just try to keep stuff coming in. This is a really pretty awkward setup, but it ended up working out. I'm not sure, yeah. So we got in a few lighting zaps. You have to be really tactical about where you put the spire. So I put it there so that that was the best spot so that it could still hit him and my summons could move through. I didn't want to put it, you know, somewhere where it's going to block the summons and it... I mean, if you do put it in front like that, it might get a shot or two off, which can do a ton of damage. But I sort of put it in front so that it might allow the summons through and just kind of let things filter in. You have to be prepared for it to... Being hasted probably did help a little bit since I could create the summons a little bit faster. But that was not the best setup for that. It ended up working out okay though. 2 staffs of the same kind. Bunch of rods. Some books though. Box of Beast. Books that I do not need almost to the letter. Don't need this at all. If I wanted to break into Earth and get Sif to give me like statue form maybe. And then Book of Annihilations, I'm not going to be touching any of those spells, so that was pretty crap. Those ego cloaks. Yeah, I mean, if people like have put together a soundtrack, it's certainly conceivable, and then there would just need to be sound effects. It could be cool, but a lot of people I'm sure would turn it off, but at the same time... Okay, we're gonna ID the Telewand. And the flight. Can't really try out these rods. I'm not really big into using rods on this character anyhow, so I think I'm actually just going to drop these. Don't really need another wand of polymorph. Oh. I kind of hate this just because the sounds are sort of annoying. It's not that bad, but it's kind of annoying at the same time. Now I've got access to channel. Now I need to turn on some invo. Don't need a whole lot, but like 3 or 4 is good. I'm gonna unfocus summons just for a bit. In a speed run, I usually really have to shoot for like 15 summons and have to turn off spell casting at 8. And I used to train invo, and I would still have to train that, but I wouldn't train any dodging. But it's not quite so critical that I should be comfortably at about 15 by the time I get a gift, which should mean my first gift is going to be pretty good. It's going to slow down my piety gain a little bit, though. Not that big of a deal. Probably 5 is more than enough. Watch Black Mambas. Again, just like adders, they move really fast, so they can sneak through your summons really easily. I do have our poison, but their melee damage is really substantial. Got everybody's favorite branch, shoals. And yeah, Komodos do a ton of damage in melee. They're not fast, but they're easy to underestimate for sure. Ooh, amulet, finally. Gourmand, that's not really that useful for me, given the spell hunger is not really going to be an issue. If once I get into my like level 6 spells, though, it can be a little bit handy, because it's definitely possible to churn through a lot of nutrition. I did find I don't have all that much, but eventually I'll swap that amulet off for sure. And it's not going to do too much for me until I get some higher level summons going. Yep, right there, he just dived through. Those little setups where they're like at, kind of at an angle relative to you, or anywhere really where they just have a way. Your summons, you don't have like exact control over which way they move, so you kind of have to develop a good intuition for how fast monsters might find gaps to get to you. Wolves are also fast. Other things that are complicated, like elephants with trample, they can break through your summons. They also have a lot of HP and do a lot of damage, so do a lot of damage to your summons even, so you have to... Yak packs, elephant packs, and especially death yak packs have to be managed kind of with some care. Damn, a volcano. Getting every portal. Ring of Fire, we are... Well, that's good for the volcano, right? Oh yeah, Hydra's really easy to kill with... that's not how you do it, though. Really easy to kill with the Book of Callings. Basically make a spire and then just start feeding in a bunch of ice beasts. They'll die very quickly. Again, don't underestimate how much damage they can do, though. And what will happen is the ice beasts, those that manage to hit the Hydra will slow it, which is really helpful. The Spire is just going to keep doing good damage to it, so usually a combo of those two is enough. And with Hydra, because they have so much HP and do so much damage, just keep feeding the summons at them. And you'll probably not have much trouble. If you only have enough MP to like make 2 ice beasts, though, that's when you might want to reconsider the fight. If you can make 3, you have a good shot of taking it down. With Sif, you can always do the Divine Energy, where I could even channel. So you have, you know, you can probably finish any fight, but with other gods, you might have other, you know, there's lots of other gods that are good for doing Summoner. You might have some other options. Using wands to soften them up, all that stuff. Anything with high HP like that, that's a single enemy. If your summons don't look like they're going to be quite up to it, you can just supplement the damage with something like a wand, or if you don't have like MP available. Okay, so for that guy, for the eel, I need to get him away from that plant. Now, since I woke him up, these guys aren't too dangerous. They're not fast, but they do pretty good damage. They just don't have any particular resistance to any of your summons. Alright, so now we can want to flame this guy. There we go. I'll drop these staves for now. Really want to get to this volcano at some point. Very distant. We're not getting anywhere. One of these should be magic map, I hope. Wow. Wow! Well, anybody who's watching, you can vote for acquirement. I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. We're going to try to get to this volcano, but we'll have to see how much it cooperates. Yeah, it's okay though, because we had a lot of blink scrolls. It was like I think we've got 3 left. Looks like Jewel got 2 votes. I see somebody did vote Misk, somebody voted Ammo. People who voted Misk and Ammo are going to get banned from Twitch permanently. Not just my channel, but every channel. So I hope you're happy with yourselves. It's because Twitch loves DCSS so much that they made me a global moderator, a stealth global moderator. I've not seen the Kappa rip, that's good. Which one is that? Rip. Oh, yeah, it's a subscriber. I like that, it's a good emote. Actually, I have one that's applicable as well. Although, I don't really like how Chatty makes emoticons available. Oh man, did he replace it? Huh. That's so weird. No, he removed it? Damn, that's a shame. It says he only has 4 now. I'm sad. I'm dime sad. Infested Richie used to have a rip emote, which was pretty cool. I wonder if he just didn't like it or what. Or maybe it was a copyright issue? I don't know. Who knows? So I guess we'll do jewelry. It's a pretty stupid requirement to do, but people do it sometimes on Octopodes because God, this is bad. Might actually use channel magic because this is good, and then we get to miscast. Didn't get a lot out of that, actually. Very distant. Man. Okay, I actually want to map this. There we go, finally. Because I don't think I'm in the right spot. Okay, yeah, I was totally in the wrong spot. On my way, you. Oh, wow, holy crap, folks. Was it really necessary to put 3 hellhounds there? Damn. Come on. Okay. That was annoying, but we made it. I need to chop some stuff though. That'll do it. I think this is the temple one. This is a pretty good one. The loot is decent enough usually. Hey, don't burn me. I don't like being burned. Hey, Plank, how's it going, man? How you doing? It's one thing about the spires, if it places in front of you, you can't move. Chat history. What do you mean by chat history? You mean to web tiles? Yeah, I did add that feature, if that's what you're talking about. If you mean to the web tiles chat. If you meant something else, then no, I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, I added that. It was a really simple JavaScript hack. It was mostly because Beam had just become a thing, you know, the WebTiles chatbot, and issuing commands was such a pain because you would issue a command and typo and then without a history. Yeah, I really like it too. It is super handy. WebTiles chat is what is this? You can spam JD. Yeah, the spamming aspect can be a little unfortunate, but that's a problem with WebTiles chat in general. Well, I don't want to get netted, so I am actually going to move back. We'll start with a spire. Nice. Nice blink. God damn it, I forgot that he had that. I don't like... I can blink myself though, which I actually might do. Question is where though? Don't want him blinking. I can't afford to... These guys actually will hit somewhat hard in melee. I don't have any wands that can really just one-shot them, and I don't want to blink so that all three of them can hit me at once. How damaged is he? Not at all. Don't want to take a bunch of melee from his halberd. If I go out here, I'm possibly safe. I wonder what a fear would do. Would I fear? What is this MR? Fear would probably work on Herald. Let's try just a straight up fear. Nice. That really didn't exactly do what I wanted. Alright, now I'm gonna blink. It's unfortunate that the one centaur didn't. On the other hand, we should be able... Okay, good. So centaur, that centaur is done. Okay, great. Well, there goes Herald. At least he's done for. We just gotta make a bunch of summons. Probably don't need any more channel at this point. Yeah, that was a little bit difficult, but sucks having to use another blink scroll, but it's probably worth it. Could have been done without it. It was just a weird setup when you've got a... The thing that scares me about Herald is him having nets, and netting me is sort of bad because then I can't necessarily get away before he hits me. He was not something I was expecting to fight. The centaurs are kind of bad, but they're not like, you know, going to be... Molten gargoyles. Just gotta really watch. Yeah, that Good to throw up like a spire just to block hits if you can. Okay, this should do it. There we go. There's my RF hat. Not that I really need RF. Oh crap. Put in the store without even thinking. Stupid. Oh shit. These are a little bit easier. God, don't miscast. Demon Blade, hello. So if we go into weapon, good chance it'll be that Demon Blade. Luck Whip is really nice, of course, but maybe we can get lucky with a brand weapon or something. Damn. You guys all appeared and I wasn't really expecting it. Okay. So we've kind of delayed our piety game. Oh, Book of Beast though, hello. Very nice. So there's our next spell upgrade. Probably go for... Hydra's a little bit too scary, so we'll go for Viper right now. Well, I was cool with that for maybe like 2 minutes, but got a good couple minutes. Guess I should try on this acquirement, huh? I haven't even tried it on yet. Yeah, that's not that great. Unsurprising. It is something I can swap to for C and Viz, but MR minus is not so hot. Okay, some elephants. So Spire. Now I've got an upgrade spell. Just gonna kinda... Nice when I don't miscast them. I was able to take down just a few Sif casts, just kind of chill out behind my summons and feed in whatever seems appropriate. I'm gonna ID amulets until I ID harm. That vault might be a little bit nasty. Wow, Bogart. So there's our invo. We'll go back to just summons and spell casting. Actually, I want to turn on fighting as well. Fighting would be pretty cool. Yeah, maybe we'll do it like that. Since it's going to cut into my piety gain a little bit much, I'll just focus summons and then turn on fighting. Gotta watch out with these Bogarts because they will summon nasty stuff quickly. And speaking of Bogarts, also get the C and Viz summons out. There we go. There's another one. Oh god, really? Damn. See right there, now the fight just basically got out of hand. One Spiny Frog summon was enough to derail that fight. The Spiny Frog just handed really good rolls. Should have made a Mana Viper. Hi Eric, it's this one vault places them. They're like, you know, spirits, wood spirits. They're not a bad summon if you use them in moderation because they have nothing else but invis and shadow creatures. The invis part is a little scary though. But yeah, I'm probably gonna go ahead and just teleport now because one summon kind of managed to roll over you know, one Spiny Frog. They can do that sometimes. Black Mambas, Spiny Frogs, with their speed and their damage, they can just really easy for them to get some lucky. And that one, the Bogart happened to blink just make one summon that slowed down the fight and slowed down my damage output, so that's just what happened. That's no big deal though. Teleported with a little bit of HP to spare. I've still got consumable heal. So probably only one more Bogart to take down. I also have C and Viz, so at least I can see where he is if I need to. And I need to remember to use Mana Viper in that situation because those will hit harder. There's our friend. So there we go. That's the end of the Bogarts. Well, I mean, I knew what it was because I saw them and they disappeared. It's not really like an unseen where the odds of you starting to fight it, it's definitely possible, yeah. I mean, you could have it go invis due to fighting like allies out of LOS, and then all of a sudden you're fighting something invisible, but you'd probably be able to guess because you're seeing a bunch of summons appear and something invis is hitting you, so it's not really too bad. There's nothing that really makes summons like that in Lair, so there's really only one thing to suspect. They're certainly scary in any kind of open group because it's a lot of summon spam and it will make fast moving things quickly. So a fight like that you have to be pretty careful. And yeah, fighting's not doing a lot of returns. Hey, it's Zurich, how's it going, man? We ascended for anybody who was tuning into previous episodes. We ascended our Hill Orc, the zigging Hill Orc. Shattered Dissipator, killed Dissipator. He was the only Hell Lord that I actually ended up bothering to kill. Could have easily done Antius. Aresh was a little bit dodgier. Literally. But killing her in the setup that I had would have been a little bit more complicated. But yeah, for fighting, it's not paying out much right now. That is definitely true. I just like to get it going because I really hate low HP species and I like for them to have HP. Yeah, it's you can also, if you do Twitch streams, you can use it in your own streams. So it's basically a Twitch version of Beam that I made. And it has its own channel, so you can go to twitch.tv/lamlobot where you can issue commands and tell it to join your channel so that you can use it if you do a stream. That's basically why I made it. If you do DCSS related streams, I should say. Not too useful if you don't, unless you really like LearnDB joke commands, which there are some pretty cool ones, but I'm not sure that it's worth I guess it might be, kind of, because some of the commands that it can do you don't really see anywhere else, since it's got like, it's programmable and SQL and stuff. But you could use one of those offline bots to do stuff like that. Or one of those, not offline, but local bots. Alright, we're up to 4 stars, so we're getting back into piety gain. Piety gain town population piety. We used a little bit of channel there, so it was kind of... When you enter a new level as a summoner, particularly like on layer 1 when your character is just a lot weaker, it's a really good idea to make a bunch of summons before you move anywhere. Just cast a bunch of summons because you can move one square and expose like some really bad stuff. And then that's your layer entrance that's sort of screwed. So in layer 1 in particular, but also on other levels. Yeah, I mean, you can train fighting whenever. This guy is not... He's already found a book upgrade, so it's just, you know, it's so I can get in on it, not have to think about it. Absolutely delaying training fighting as much as you want, but I like having HP, which is why I don't really like low HP species like octopodes too much. So I tend to want to get into some fighting kind of soon. Now I could turn off dodging probably because my returns for dodging right now are not too high given where it already is. So truthfully, what I should do to be responsible would be just to train fighting and not train dodging at the same time, because I'm really training it too slow for it to have much impact, and that not more than 2 or 3 skills is a good rule of thumb. Oh, I couldn't really tell. I guess you were just commenting like, wow, Sue trains fighting late. I couldn't tell if you were asserting it or if you were commenting. Summons, like, you don't really need more than 8 to 10 summons, honestly. So you could... I'm doing a pure summoning build. A lot of people do summoners that do a lot more melee, and for that, you probably don't want to get like 13 plus summoning. Oh, okay, yeah. So I would say, to follow up then on your comment, yeah, if you, even with Sif, really, I mean, you go Sif for like MP availability and spells, but that's not to say that you need to do a pure summoning type character with Sif. You know, it really applies with any god. It doesn't quite matter so much. If you're doing a god where you're clearly doing a lot of melee and you're starting a summoner, then it's going to apply even more, but or it's definitely going to apply at least as much, but it's something to be aware of, that you can start training your defensive skills after you just get your magic skills up to a good baseline, so that all of your starting book spells are well covered in terms of not too many miscasts. Thanks for the follow, Zelf. And the spell power that you want. Like, summons are not super dependent on spell power, so you kind of just need to be able to cast them at a decent fail rate, and then you can stop worrying about spell power too much. The more you want to kill with summons, the more you're going to care about it. With Conj, to kill stuff effectively, you really kind of want to have more spell power, but even then, a lot of Conj characters will stop training at anywhere as early as like 8, you know, conjurations plus elemental, and then they might keep it on until 12. If you do pure like conjurations, pure summoning, pure magic, all the way up to 15 without any defenses, you're just basically building a weaker character, because you get a big boost from having EV, a bunch more EV, you know, 4 plus EV, you get a big boost from having more HP. But it is not great to spread it out like I was doing there. 3 skills is about the max you want to train. A lot of people really just do 1 or 2. I think Elliptic plays his characters that way. He made target skill initially, and it just had 1 limit, because so much of what he does, I think he only trains 1 skill at a time. If you read his spend guide for skills, he's got he has you training 1 skill at a time. Or if you want to read it, maybe 2 max skills at a time, like, you know, short blade, stealth, spellcast. So you could be training both of those. So 2 skills kind of max. Some skill training is going to be a little bit less optimal, but you know, the difference is not going to be huge in terms of the effect on your win rate. Yeah, it's kind of annoying because there's skills that you want to have getting somewhere just because you're tired of them being low. And there's like 2 of those skills, so it's not fun to train 1 skill. And like, it feels really dumb to train nothing but to train Conj and not fire. I can't carry that many items. Wow, another vault. Can we identify anything? Oh shit, I wasted it. What a shame. I should have been carrying my damn blade. Sorry, brand weapon. I'm sorry. I'm gonna hold on to this. Actually, I'm just going to read ID the rest of this stuff because it's taking up so much inventory and I've already ID'd all the important stuff. That makes sense. Oh crap, Josephine. So we're gonna Spire and we're gonna Mana Viper. Nice double miscast, that's always fun. But they got her. Anti-magic aspect of the Mana Vipers is sometimes relevant, and if you set up the fight the right way, it can definitely be relevant. But it's often hard for it to really matter. The cool thing about, one of the best things, or probably the best thing about them, is that they have good damage and are fast and can see invis. So you don't need to restrict your use of those. Nice book. Very nice book. Oh yeah. That right always hits, I think. Oh, damn. Second acquired scroll. Folks, we're in there. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? Second and third and fourth acquired scroll. Welp. Or acquire scroll, acquire pole, is what I mean to say. Yeah, I mean, it's... Don't get excited. Are you kidding me? Every single one of... Boner Town. Every single one of these is going to be pure sunshine. Toss them in the lava. Every single one is going to be a home run. We're going to bat 1,000. I guarantee it. Because I already messed up the last one, the jewelry acquire, was junk. Well, it wasn't exactly junk, it was somewhat useful. But this one's going to be really good. These three are all going to be absolutely outstanding. Well, if it's a decent shield, I can actually use that. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people active in chat right now, so your vote has disproportionate influence. But nobody's voting yet. Oh, there I see jewelry. Jewelry, ammo, misc, yeah. Typical. What else? What else did I expect, right? That's okay. Whoever voted jewelry again, so you're gonna get your wish. Misc and ammo people, your troll votes. Yeah, I bet you did. I bet that's what happened. I bet that's what happened. I guess I'll just try it on. Ooh, usable. Now I can ditch this damn axe, thank God. That's helpful. I mean, it's not exactly an outstanding ring, but, you know. Yeah, wand is always a decent choice. The only problem is, well, I found a lot of wands actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that 7, 3, 6, 7? Yeah, digging and descent would actually be fine. Like, not the best use of acquire, but I should definitely do a wand acquire after getting a good jewelry result. I'm gonna drop this axe and eat a bunch of contam. Nice, didn't even get mutated. That's how good my RNG is. See, when my RNG is good, other people have bad RNG, but I don't. I have excellent RNG. So let's try wand. Wand of heal wounds. Now look at that. Look at that. They said you were going to get bad acquirement, but they don't know about Gamma Funk's RNG. So the question is, what for the final acquirement? I've done a ring. I've got a good ring that was actually helpful for getting... Yeah, well that's why you need a development account. We have the RNG rigged. God. People want J. I'm gonna do it just because I'm a nice person. That's the only reason. Holy crap. So to all those people who said that I shouldn't get excited, well now how do you feel? And by all those people, I mean Planktonite. The best thing is that Planktonite's going to remember this, and then he's going to go find a stack of 3 acquire skulls, and when he does it, all 3 are going to be garbage. I guess I'll have to get rid of Shaolin. I mean, Stain. I've got a lot of weird crap on here. And flight. That was a pretty good sequence of acquirements. Pretty good, although only average for me. Mediocre. Based on my usual RNG. I've seen better. Yeah. That sounds fun. Oh, speaking of riposte, actually, got a demon blade, so we might be doing a little riposting ourselves with Shaolin and who knows what EV. Not gonna have a Ring of Shadows probably, but hey, there's always more acquire skulls, right? What you do is you give me your password and I acquire. I log in for you and acquire, and then I log out and you continue playing. Summon Hydra. What does Hydra look? Hydra is usable, so I should think about ditching some spells. Since we've got the high levels, G-Golem is not as useful. I want to just free up... Wait, how many levels do I have free though? Oh yeah, I need 4 and I don't really have 4 to... So, oh wait, but was there another one? Oh yeah, I could go buy one. Blink frogs are another thing you've got to be careful with if you're a summoner. Now I don't have to be quite so careful with them obviously, but yeah, right there they do a lot of damage. They're pretty easy to take out. Cold is really effective against them. It's just that they're hard to hit and they're able to blink next to you. So you really want to fight a pack of blink frogs at full MP because you're going to need it. A lightning spire is really good against them, just because it's going to get a lot of shots in. There's a lot of, if you fight a pack at once, it's going to get the fight, you know, it's going to get a lot of things to shoot. So it's that 4 MP for a Spire goes a long way. What potions? Whoa, what? Sorry. I don't know why... Why did I must have dropped that by accident. That's interesting. I probably dropped that by accident. That was pretty dumb. Probably meant to drop Cure Mute and dropped my Heal Wounds pots, which is not a pro move. I don't recommend it. I cast it if I don't have any upgrade spells and I'm fighting big pack enemies. Elephants, Death Yaks are where I find myself using it. So you've got all of your summons out, you've like, you know, you don't have a lot of MP left, and you cast Guardian Golem and they'll kill things. If you get an upgrade spell pretty fast, or if you're doing really good melee, you may not need to cast it. Sometimes it's helpful to like do something like blow up the Minotaur or some other weird enemy, but it's yeah, it's more situational. It's one spell that I use less than the other summons. Yep, there you go. You're just like, hold up guys, hold up monsters. I need to go back and get some HP. Yeah, let's actually get the amnesia while we're at it. Oh wait, did I buy it? Oh yeah, that's right, there was this ring too, which I can now afford. RN, MR, Invis. Pretty decent. Don't exactly have anything else to buy. Don't have the Evo for it, but I could change that. What's my, yeah, I think it's more MR, so I think I'm going all in for it. Place Ring of Light. Get rid of Imp. Yeah, some games happen like that. Some games you get delicious tacos, some games you get hardtack. Okay. Yeah, I just set the entropy on the RNG to favor me, and then to balance out, it has to make adjustments to Ganzar's game. Lots of adjustments. RNG is like this really annoying frat boy who just like sees somebody playing, oh, there's Ganzar. Guess I better go influence his RNG. Oh, he's going into a volcano. Let me just make sure that he can't use any of the RF gear in there.
Rise from your grave.
Oh yeah. I just watched Funk Doc, SR Funk Doc 1cc Altered Beasts arcade a few days ago. Yeah. Well, if you want to, there's a few ways to do it. I think there's even a command that is like there's a command that sort of, oh, there we go. I don't know if last games can do anything other than 10 though. There's other indirect ways, or there's other sort of ways you can do that as well. So if you know when your game started, you could say something like in the last, you know, something like that. You could look at the start date of the game at which you care about and use games by. So if you can say start greater than whatever, that'd be another way to do it. That's a little bit more direct to get the stat that you want. There's date keywords like year, month, week. So month is maybe what you want. But if you want anything that's not a simple keyword for a date range, you just need to specify the start time. So you'd kind of have to look at the last game you'd want to include and look at its start date. Short answer, yes. Long answer is what I just said. Did I memorize that spell, by the way? Nope. We might get something like, oh, I need to get my Demon Blade out. Get my Demon Blade. Okay. I sadly was not carrying this when I ID'd brand weapon, otherwise I would have had a shot to rebrand it. Not that flaming is all that bad, but for now I'll keep it the way it is. Theoretically it would be useful against Hydra, but I wouldn't want to melee a Hydra with nothing but EV. By the way, have we seen any better shields? No. Oh yeah, those staves. That's what we wanted to check. Staff of Energy. Not going to be so useful quite now. Staff of Poison. Would have been useful if I could have worn it earlier, if I had known that this was the Staff of Poison and I could have swapped out the axe. But at this point, not so useful. We'll hold on to the Staff of Energy. Never give up. Whoa, +7. Holy shit, I didn't even notice. That Demon Blade had a lot of enchant. Damn. I didn't even pay attention to that. Man, good drops this game. So that Demon Blade, when I found it, was a +6 Demon Blade of Flaming. That was in the volcano. So that's a pretty good drop in a volcano. Only thing we didn't get was like the RF hat. Or maybe like an RF buckler or something. Didn't get that junk game, junk RNG. How am I supposed to win without my RF hat? Might as well quit. Well, I guess I'm using the Staff of Energy. It's not my fault I'm good at RNG. Can we Hydra's a little bit? Ooh. Wow, good job. Elephants, man, on point. Well, and then we miscast. Okay. There we go. It's pretty good. Oh, it looks like we got Beastmaster. I'll go ahead and exclude that until I explore the rest of the... Wow, that was a big exclude. Ooh. Ah, wild magic. Spell power is always good. Not a bad mutation for this guy because we're going to have a lot of... we're going to kind of have an excess. We'll have to see how this goes. With the higher sum... Oh wow, this is both. Have to be a little bit careful. Might be able to get a Hydra out, but it's a little bit risky. Let's try it. Hey, we got one. If you can get a Hydra in there... Oh man, we might not get the Hydra though. Okay, there... he didn't do anything. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Wow, this is... Nice little... Good. Very nice. I wonder, is this a vault or just like random assemblage of monsters? Whoa. Gotta be careful with this 8-headed dude. He's these guys are for real. But we took care of it. Yeah, that Hydra was like, no, what about me? I can fight, I can fight. I know how to fight. I think he got in like one hit. It's like, alright Hydra, your time's up. Okay, so that was probably the Torpor Snail that had the Death Yak. Better to fight him solo than it is to fight Torpor Snail plus Death Yak plus multiple Hydra and a Yak Pack. Yeah, Torpor Snails are something you gotta watch out for as a summoner as well, because they slow down your summons, and your assessment of how strong all your summons are is very off when they're slowed. They're so much weaker. That guy fell through a shaft, I guess. I think that was from Josephine. Wow, the Hydras. Okay, we just hit 5-star, so we'll get a gift pretty soon. And yeah, close to 15 summoning means you're gonna probably get a good first gift. No guarantees, but a very good chance. And in my case, since I've already got an upgrade book, it's not even as... won't even be that big of a deal if I don't. You can, there we go. Handbook of Illusion. That sounds like summoning. You can clear layer very easily with the Book of Callings. It's one of the strongest starting books. Some people might say that IE is stronger, but I think for me, Sue is probably the strongest starting book. And it's really easy to clear with nothing more than Ice Beast and Lightning Spire. Death Yak packs you might need to, be more careful with fighting just with the Book of Callings. Don't be afraid to try messing around with Guardian Golem if you want to finish off a fight, but you can always kind of just peel some off and do the usual careful tactics. You don't have to fight the entire pack at once. And yeah, Hydra's no problem. Well, FE is definitely really strong because of Sticky Flame. Fireball is one of those mixed things where like you get it and you have relatively low spell power. It makes a ton of noise. It does give you AoE and decent damage, but it kind of depends on how much XP you've got. Maybe if you've got an enhancer. If you want to play safely, Sue is, I think, stronger. But yeah, for killing, for damage output, CJ and FE are both really good. And of course, IE is like really good damage output, and you get strong spells like Ozo's armor. Oza's armor may not be long for this world, but we'll have to see. There was some discussion about maybe removing that spell. Yeah, I was more talking about in lair. Since that's what we were talking about is like, you know, whether or not you need a gift. Every spell book, you don't need a gift in order to clear lair. Like, there's not a starting spell book that's not strong enough. It's literally every book can do it. Even VM can do it because, you know, you know, Death Yak, some of the higher HP monsters, they don't have any poison, so and even if they do have poison, it is penetrate. It doesn't have ignite poison. Young, God, I hate that. Yeah, what is VM? OTR, Venom Bolt is like only partially resistible, so you can kill stuff with it. And of course, Meth. Remove which spell? Remove which school? Remove poison magic, you say? I forget how that spell works now. It got some changes, so it still does affect you if you're poisoned, right? Ignite poison, I mean. It's really strong if you have a source, if you can apply poison damage, the spell is. And it's less annoying to use than it was. I think poison magic is, I mean, you could argue that it's an annoying spell school, but it's in an okay place in terms of being usable. It just, a lot of people don't seem to have very much fun with it, because they don't like thinking about all the resistant monsters, and maybe the school doesn't feel differentiated in a good way compared to Conj and Fire. I know a lot of people don't really like playing as a VM. It's the least popular background. A lot of people really don't like playing as summoners, to be perfectly frank. It is not. It's more popular than VM, but it's in the bottom 5, I think. Elf skeleton. Now we can make, well, sort of we can make Hydra. Is Mr. Hydra going to get his chance to shine, finally? I'm going to whack this plant out of the way. Oh, there we go. Okay, Hydra, don't give me a crazy miscast. Just go in and do your thing. Wow, he did not last a long time. That was not a long-lived Hydra. Mr. Octopode decided to come join the party and complicate my life. Oh, I just got a gift. Oh, I didn't even look at my gift. Damn. Look at now that. Wow. That is a further evidence of my outstanding RNG. That is a very nice first gift. Shadow creatures, Menage, most critically, and even an upgrade to summon horrible things. That is pretty sick, folks. No, that does not sound like a good change. Yeah, that's a really good first gift. Most first Sif gifts are not quite that good. Getting Menage is always like... if it was a spell book consisting of only Menage, it would be an outstanding gift because that spell is so strong. SGD is too scary to use without Abjure, but if you do have Abjure, it is a very powerful spell. Not really a strong reason to use it compared to Menage. And then Triple X is my upgrade spell, not going to be casting that for some time. And then having Shadow Creatures in Menage is like, if I were speedrunning, this would be almost as good of a gift as you could possibly get, because Shadow Creatures and Menage are like the two top candidates, and then Triple X you need. The only other thing I need after that is Dragon's Call in terms of summon spells. And so if it had that spell, that's about the only way I could improve it. But now we are going to channel. I really wish, how's this guy looking? Okay. Actually gonna forget, well, what is it? Menage is, it's not really castable, but Shadow Creatures is. So I'm gonna burn some Piety to forget some spells. Can forget Canine. It's still a decent spell, actually. Wargs are really strong, but Mana Vipers are about as strong, and it's just freeing up some levels. And I'll also forget Spammels. Now we can get Shadow Creatures. That's usable now. Menage is the exact same as Hydra. Yeah, so I'm also gonna forget. I'm burning a lot of Piety here, but... Oh, I actually lost Forget spell, so that's that. It's not a good setup for this fight. Let's see what Shadow Creatures does for us. Bunch of filler. We'll just have to see. Rhyme Drake might do something. Nice. Uh-oh, miscast. So I'm gonna kind of just troll this guy a little bit, seeing what we get. Shadow Creatures is a good spell to just roll the dice with, because you might get something like a Hydra. Gotta watch it, because he is damaging me each time he hits with these clouds. So I can't do this forever. Yeah, we'll go up now. This is, I think, a patrolling vault, so Octopode is probably back here by now. Just I think. Be careful though, you could get flanked by stuff. Yep, there he goes, he's back. Just need to get rid of him. There you go, he's done. That should pretty much do it. Nice. I like the Shadow Imp. That's great. Hey, Troll Hide. Oh, I can't wear it. Rip off. Oh look guys, another artifact ring. Finally some good RNG, right? Oh, that one's a little bit less sexy. On the other hand, it is slaying, and I don't know, more RF. I'm not really hitting things, so kind of usable, but it loses me some EV, which is doing more for me right now than slaying. Although slaying, 5 slaying and RF may come in handy. That's a ring I might actually end up using at some point. Maybe in Zod, possibly, if I really feel like I want to put on more RF, because when you don't have any AC or GDR, like that, finally, your RNG has run out, pal. All my Randart rings on one screen. I think that's all of them. Oh, that's all the ones I'm carrying, I guess. There was another one that was really crappy that I ditched. Well, that was a really easy layer. I definitely lost a lot of piety using all that amnesia, but that's alright. Well, if you want something easy, Berserker is the easiest class to win. So you'll just be a big melee guy who picks up a weapon that Trog gifts you, and pick a strong species. Mybi is the classic representation. Kind of depends on what you feel you want to get out of the game. If you say back into the game and you've played it before, you might have an idea for what you want to do. Melee characters are more straightforward. Magic characters take a little bit more. There's more that you have to understand. The skilling, the early skilling is more critical to make the experience, or to make a stronger character. If you mess up the skilling early on, it's more sensitive, the book starts are, to that. Some of the book starts that are like warrior mages are a little bit harder, and you want to divide up your skills, right? Yeah, Mybi is really solid. You shouldn't have too much trouble winning a Mybi. And trolls are also really strong. They're even stronger than a Minotaur. And like a troll berserker is stronger than a Mybi. On well, pretty much for most of the game. Trolls become a little bit tricky for some people when you have to figure out how to get them armor, which will probably involve like enchanting up a dragon hide. A swamp dragon armor is pretty good for them, relatively easy to find, but that's only if you get swamp. Oh, here's our yak friends. Or at least 2 of them, I guess. Well, if you haven't won before, I mean, you will get some bad habits, but you still have maybe more to learn about the fundamentals. As far as the good rules for learning the game, if you can follow there's a longtime player called Crate who has a rule that he repeats a lot, so it's been called like Crate's rule, which is when you see a monster, don't move towards it. Instead, wait. Use the wait key, which is period, and let the monster come towards you, and it will prevent you from running into danger. It'll prevent you from running into monsters and exposing other monsters that will come and join the fight. It'll teach you to not be so aggressive. And a lot of the actions that you make, like melee, casting spells, make noise. Yeah, backing up is often better than even than waiting. So the actions that you make make noise. So if you end up seeing a monster and you get the monster to fall back either to your current position by waiting, or if you move backwards and move it back towards safe areas that you've explored, the noise that you make will happen there instead of near where the monster is. And near where the monster is unexplored area, and in unexplored areas you're going to find new monsters who will try to join in on the fight, and that makes the fight a lot more dangerous. So basically you want to try to make the fight happen away from unexplored areas. That's why waiting is good, or falling back is good. Those are, as far as like good habits, those are some general good habits. You don't see me doing that like necessarily in every fight, but you will see me backing up quite a bit or waiting quite a bit. And then once you get a better sense of the game, you can kind of push the boundaries a little bit more. If you know that your character is really, really strong, the odds of it getting in danger are less, so you can move towards unexplored areas with a little bit more confidence. And yeah, my B is really strong, and so you're going to get that confidence maybe. But just don't forget that rule about making noise in unexplored areas is bad, and walking into unexplored areas to fight monsters is bad. That's the basic good habit advice. And there's a lot of other stuff about like using your escape items sooner rather than later. Don't wait to use them when you're at 10 HP. Think about using them when you're at 50% HP. Things like teleport and blinking away and buff potions. Don't forget to use buff potions. You know, agility, might, and haste can make a fight a lot easier. So I guess there's a lot of additional things that you want to think about, but playing a strong combo is the easiest way to win, even if it does maybe give you some a tendency to make to not pay attention to the things that you're doing wrong, or it covers up those mistakes a little bit. It'll still help you win faster. You may not have as much fun though playing a stronger character. You may find you have a lot more fun playing something that's more middle of the road, because it forces you to think a little bit more. Some people find that they find my B to be pretty boring even right at the beginning. And it doesn't have to, if you want a really strong character, Fedas is a good god that's more complicated, that's also very, very strong if you use mushrooms. So some of the strongest gods are Trog and Fedas, and then other really strong gods like Kiku is very strong, Ured is actually very strong. Oka is, in my opinion, is a relatively weak god, but is a very simple god to use, and does have impactful abilities, so it's something that a lot of people start out with. There are much stronger gods than Oka, but nothing wrong with getting your first win with Oka. He's nice and simple, not too much to think about. If you do use Oka, remember to use Hero very often, and remember to use Finesse. In any really difficult fight, it's really strong. A lot of people underutilize Finesse. Yeah, the gods that are good for beginners in that there's less for them to think about. Sif is often touted as a good beginner god because her mechanics are very simple, and that is certainly true. Vehement is very simple though as well, and not too much for you to think about. So if you want to make a mage that blows stuff up, you might find Vehement a little bit easier, because you don't have to think about his MP restore. He has nothing but passive abilities that just make your spell casting a little bit stronger. But he's actually kind of like Oka. He's actually overall a weak god, because the things that he gives you are pretty weak. And in the early portions of the game, that's the most dangerous. Those are the most dangerous portions of the game. And he does very little for you in those early portions, whereas Sif's ability is very impactful in those early portions. At 1 star, she gives you something that's quite strong. Che is an example of a god who's among the worst for you to start out with, because he makes you weaker when you join him, and to know how to use his abilities properly to offset the penalty that he gives you takes experience. But there are people who've gotten their first win with Che, certainly, so. Do I have any mutation? Nope. Wow. 5 cure mute pots. Guess I've had good RNG this game. I wasn't convinced before, but I'm convinced now. I can go ahead and drop the stones now. I don't really need those. Yeah, Quaz is another god who is a terrible god to start out with. He's another god that makes you weaker when you join him. But people have won their first game with Quaz. So you can win with any god as your first god, including Atheist. You could win a non-demigod as an Atheist as your first god. You could have you could win your first game with Zom as well. So if you're determined, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, I knew you were joking, Plank. I was just sort of commenting about, since you brought up Che, and some people actually think that Che is like, you know, universally strong and even probably a great beginner god, but I wanted to mention that that is not really the case. Worse than Zom with an Amulet of Harm, ouch. That's pretty bad. That is pretty harsh. So, what did we get for our other branch? Was it Spider? Shoals and Snake. I don't even remember seeing the Snake entrance. Where was that? Huh. It was just, oh, okay, it was... I got 2 dummy entrances. How about that? I don't think there was any monster guarding either of these entrances. On the other hand, I didn't get the easiest branches, but that's funny. Both on the same level, and they were both just the dummy ones. Yeah, no, it's... Shoals is not going to be hard or anything. But the next thing we will do is some more dungeon. Probably at least a few levels, and then into Orc. Orc is really easy with summons. Orc is really easy to do even with just the Book of Callings, to be honest, because it can kill pretty much anything in the branch. If you get some things like a Stone Giant is scary because of the damage output, but that's just more that things in Orc can do a lot of damage. But you can kill Stone Giants with the Book of Callings actually pretty easily as well. It won't do well versus a Lightning Spire and a bunch of Ice Beasts and a Warg. Pretty much, you can kill almost anything. You can kill most depth monsters with the Book of Callings pretty easily as well, but some things are going to be too much for it, but not most things in Orc. Orc Warlords are kind of good defenses, a lot of damage output. Those you got to be careful of. Well... Okay, well, this is a good stopping point. Got our character, our Ziggurat Hill Orc ascended, and we got a summoner started up. I'll probably take a little bit of a break for the next stream since I've been streaming like 3 days in a row. But I will try to do the next one in about a week, and I'll try to keep this guy only on stream. So maybe I can turn him into a highlight. Probably won't highlight the last Hill Orc, but this Opisu would be good because people have been asking for a summoner sort of guide, and this is not an optimal summoner guide, but it's maybe a good intro. Yep, no problem. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Please click follow if you haven't done that, and I'll be on WebTiles, and I'll see some of you around, and I'll see the rest of you around on Twitch. Catch you later.